get settled in?
Yes.
Ready to go? Welcome, everyone. And as Dave said, I hope you're all refreshed and ready for another very exciting session. I don't know about you, but I was trying to figure out, can I get some props? Do I need to get a surfboard? Do I need a life jacket? I just thought I'd put on a pair of glasses as we go through the session. So today's session, and I'm also going to try and, Kerry did a great job talking a little bit about unlocking the whole time. I'm going to pump up this session. So there might be a couple of those in there. Get dad jokes. We'll get a few of those under our belt. So today I'm super excited to be joined by Henrik, who's a PXM consultant from Grundfos. Thank you very much for flying all the way out from Denmark to come join me on stage. We're going to talk about how Grundfos streamlined global operations with Akeneo. But before I do that, I thought we would start with a little bit of an icebreaker. And we'd just start with some fun facts. Now, who doesn't like a good old fun fact as we go through the session? So Henrik and I were preparing last week, and we thought, well, what's the best way to get a fun fact? Like, what would you do? Given the topic of the session, we thought that we'd go and ask AI and find out what a fun fact is. Why not? So we pointed the power of AI at Henrik's LinkedIn profile, and the fun fact we got is Henrik has a knack for making his competitors envious by delivering outstanding results for his clients. It's no wonder his company is known for its effective and enjoyable collaborations. So that's a great start. So I'm really pleased that you're here.
Very nice words from AI. I'm appreciating that.
So thank you very much. Yeah, really good. And then it was my turn. So what do I do? So everyone knows that AI is transformational. But what about the human in the loop? What about the human element to it? So I then scratched around and thought, what can I do to try and get the human element out of this thing? And, now beknownst to me, and I had this feeling in the back of my mind that there's something important about this company. So I pumped up my efforts, and I went scrounging. Thank you very much. Number 2, if we get to 5, you get a prize, if you get all 5. I am actually a very happy customer of Grundfos. About 6 years ago, I did a little bit of upgrading to my house, and I must say that not only today I'm going to offer a warm welcome to Henrik to come speak, but he keeps me and my family warm throughout the winter. So I have got this is a picture of my central heating system at home, and I've got a high efficiency pump. So fantastic. Excellent. There we go. Hey, didn't think you'd get that much excitement today. Yeah, so much for
we probably have a lot of people here today with, if you're going out to the back of your house, you'll probably find the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get cracking. There we go. So now we're going to start with some questions. So let's start with the first question. Is if you could just, if you don't mind, briefly introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your role at Grundfos, and also what does Grundfos do?
Yes, sure. I'm Henrik. I'm working as a PXM consultant. I'm part of the digital e-commerce and tools team at Grundfos. That's a pretty big digital department with more than 50 guys. In this department, we have a lot of small teams. We have marketing automation. We have Google Analytics. We have web teams. A lot of different very experienced web people in this team. And my team is then called the PXM team. And at Grundfos, it's also well known that a lot of people are wearing a lot of different caps. So besides being the PXM consultant, I'm also working as the Scrum Master in our team, making sure that our work is done efficiently and not at least finalized. So, yes.
Fantastic. And as an organization, you can talk a little bit more about the business?
Yeah, Grundfos is an old Danish company founded in 1945. And we are actually the world's largest manufacturer of pumps. And we have more than 20,000 people employed all over the world. They are divided into more than 60 different countries. And 5,000 of the people are located in Denmark, where we have the headquarters. And that is also my location. So I'm working from the headquarters in the city of Bjerringbro in Denmark. A small unknown city. If Bjerringbro, if Grundfos was not located there, nobody will probably notice the city. So
thank goodness. propping up the population.
Yeah.
Yep. So maybe you can talk us through before, let's sort of wind back, not as long ago as a few million years ago, but maybe a few years ago. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what the process was like when it came to managing your product information before you started to work with Akeneo.
Yeah, we really didn't have a clear overview of what was going on. You can probably imagine when we're sitting in 60 different countries, everybody is doing their own thing.
Yep.
Then you have sometimes 60 different results. So
60 different versions of the truth.
Yeah, exactly right. So no single point of truth.
Yeah.
And that's what we were aiming for. We were trying to figure out a solution to get a centralized system where we could have the single point of truth. So that's why we are having the setup we have today. Mm-hmm. But earlier we had a lot of trouble keeping the overview of the data, and it was managed in many different silos. And it was taking a very long time to make the changes. Mm. And very importantly also, we didn't have any ownership. And ownership is very important and something we are working very much to get today.
Excellent. And what sort of changes and pain points did that represent to the business, having data, spread out across a wide variety of systems, no real ownership of the data? How did that actually impact the daily operations of your business?
Yeah, it was taking a long time for all the countries to align on the data, and you have to check a lot of stuff many times. Mm-hmm. Because you can feel pretty sure that you're not having the same version of the data. Yep. And you also needed to do a lot of manual searches in our ERP system. We're using SAP for that. So a lot of manual work and missing overview and a lot of different versions of the data. Mm-hmm. And like Roman also said on stage earlier, it's important to have trusted data when you're working with data. Because we can have the best products, the best water pumps in the world, but if we're not presenting the data very good, then people might not notice that.
And I think just looking at my own personal experience, when I'm going to install, one of your pumps, I'd say in a critical part of my house, having accurate, up-to-date technical information about that product, making sure that the plumber knows how to install it properly, make sure that the electrician can wire it up correctly. This thing, hopefully, touch wood, I'm sure is going to last for, tens of years to come. It's absolutely critical to have that accurate, up-to-date product information.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fantastic. What now? Let's sort of fast forward a little bit. Let's go now to the current day. What is the current setup that you have at Grundfos, and how do you manage the product's PXM journey?
Yeah, we have a drawing showing the current setup we have today. We have 2 million products in the SAP, and that's quite a lot. So we are transferring some of these products to our main data synchronization tool. That's the product subsystem. Mm-hmm. And beside the SAP data, we are also importing data from our GPC side. GPI, that's the system behind our GPC website, the Grundfos website. So a lot of files and a lot of big files and big data coming into the product subsystem. And then we're cleaning up the data because we don't really want to have 2 million products in product sub, also because of the cost of the system. so we would like to keep it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in the product hub, we are making rules and adjusting the data and cleaning it up before we are sending it against Akeneo. And in Akeneo, we are enriching the data we have already coming in, but we don't have all the data in SAP and on our website. So we have to do some things in Akeneo also. So the enrichment part in being done here is very important in our setup. And in my team, we're working on 2 different areas. We are creating the Grundfos price books. That's PDF files containing price information and product information. And for that, we're using the print system, the last part of the drawing here. And the other part we're working with, that's our data deliveries. Mm-hmm. We are delivering Grundfos product data to portals all over the world. And when we're doing that, we are also having a connection from Akinio back to Products Hub, and then exporting the data from there. So that's how, in short, our setup is looking today.
Fantastic. And how important, if you can see on the slide over there on each side, we've got a print, one of our partners. Yeah. How important is the print component to you and the ability to seamlessly get that data into print and then end up with your end product on the right-hand side?
Yeah, the price books are very important at Grundfos, so the print system is a very important part of the setup. But we are not able to generate good price books if we are not handling the data correctly before. And here Akinio is a very important part of that.
Fantastic. And then focusing specifically on the Akinio component, what are the key features that you're using and what benefits do those features deliver to the business?
Yeah, we're actually using Akinio quite a lot of different nice features. First of all, it's a very user-friendly system. Mm-hmm. I think everybody would agree on that. And that's also part of the reason why we chose the system. One of the features we're using a lot is the product searches. When we have a question like, why can I not see this data on this product range? Then we go into Akinio, make a product search, and here we especially use the history tab quite a lot, because here we can see who made the last change, and the last change that can be automated system update, but it could also be a guy logging into Akinio and making a manual update. So in there we can see exactly who did the last change. Mm-hmm. And then we're also using the category tree in the Akinio. We're using that for generating the table of content in the price book PDF files. And in here we are also using the translation part in Akinio, because you don't want to handle that in SAP or not even in Products Hub. So we are handling the many different language translations for the table of content in Akinio.
And how many languages do you currently translate it into?
Well, we have 60 countries, and some are using the same language, English, but yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yeah, so it must be a massive time savings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Excellent.
And we're also using the reference entities for creating chapter intros in the price books and marketing pages. And the marketing pages we are also using for creating a little bit dynamic in these static PDF files. So we are adding links to the website from the PDF files. And that way we are able to measure the traffic coming from the price books. So when our analytics teams are looking at the analytics, they can see exactly how much our team has contributed with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's something quite interesting, as you said. As a result of that, you can take a static PDF, make it more dynamic, put it onto the web, have a feedback loop, understand who are looking at your price books, and then you can make the necessary adjustments, which you couldn't do before.
Exactly.
Fantastic. And then also, when we spoke last week, you talked a lot about before on the left-hand side, you used to manage some of this marketing data in SAP, and that represented a challenge to the business. Maybe you can talk to the audience a little bit about what the challenges were there, what the impact was on the business, and how you've made changes.
Yeah, in SAP, our IT people don't really want too many marketing stuff. So when we are working with marketing titles, we don't really want to have it in SAP, so we need to have it in another system. And we are currently considering adding it in Akinio. That's in progress, the work for that. So in here, we can also have the translation of all the marketing titles. And then we are also handling the product titles as the single point of truth in Akinio. Because then our IT department would be very happy that we are not using the SAP for that.
Fantastic. And has that improved the speed and the ability to make changes? How did it work before?
Yeah, because when you are sitting and doing the translation and proofreading, it's much easier to log into Akinio and do the stuff. We are also using the import and export functionality in Akinio very much. So you can go directly into Akinio, make the changes, hit the save button, and see the changes right away. Or if you have a big update you want to make, you can easily export all the data, do the changes in Excel, and then import it back into the system again.
Fantastic. So massive time savings, quality of data, as well as, like you say, having a real-time visibility. If you make a change, see what it looks like, as opposed to raising an IT ticket, getting a change, going to find out the change, and coming back. Has that made any difference in the sort of quality of work that the marketing people do, so they don't need to go ahead and work in some of these systems?
Yeah, we can see now when we are centralizing things, the data is improving, and we're also trying to measure the improvement. You also have a way to do that in Akeneo, so we can see the different quality of the data. And we can see the improvements because now we are not letting the countries do 60 different versions anymore. So they need to go in and make the changes in the system.
So it sounds like you're pumping up the efficiency.
Yeah, exactly.
Before. Okay, so, sure, that was hard work. Let's go. We spoke about the future of Akeneo, and we spoke a little bit about what teams would benefit from using Akeneo and what the benefit would be to those teams. Maybe you can talk a little bit about who else in the business benefits from the use of Akeneo.
Yeah, at Grundfos, it can be a little challenge sometimes to get the entire organization to use the same tool. So sometimes the different departments are implementing a lot of different tools. But in our case, we are looking against a solution where we are handling the brand management in Akeneo. And that includes the brand department, sales department, and marketing department, and also the web team. Before I joined Grundfos, I worked as an Amazon consultant. So I also know a lot about setting up the data at Amazon. And that is one thing we're aiming for, that is to gain brand ownership. And we can do that by sending our product data to Amazon. If you're looking at Amazon today, you will already find Grundfos products because we have wholesalers selling the products there. But as a brand owner, we can still create our own Amazon account. And if we are doing that, we are making sure that the wholesalers presenting our products on Amazon will present the correct data and not just the data they are presenting today.
So this is quite interesting. We spoke about this last week as well, is what you're trying to do is you've got a trusted brand. At the moment on Amazon, I, for example, could go and buy a whole lot of Grundfos products. I can set up a little store and start to sell it, and you don't have control over the quality of the information and the trust in your brand. So by having all your product information centralized in one place and then the ability to integrate it into channels, marketplaces like Amazon, a lot of people think that's more about sort of the sales channel, but it's also about giving that control and credibility that we're like a trusted brand.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not actually the idea that Grundfos is not going to sell on Amazon. So when you are a B2B company, mostly like we are, then we will continue selling through the wholesalers and the other sellers on Amazon. And we will most be concentrated about managing and controlling the content.
Excellent. And then just expanding on that a little bit, what are your key goals for the business over the next few years? Are there any specific milestones that you're looking to achieve?
Yeah, we are hoping to expand the use of Akeneo to our other departments. We think we have an easy-to-use system, and it's everybody can see when they're going into the system. It's easy to use. So we just need to do a little more back-rubbing to the other departments and convince them that they should join us using Akeneo.
Is that a Danish thing, the back-rubbing that you do with the team?
Maybe.
Well, let's see. So I want to wind back just 1 year. So you were at one of the Unlock conferences last year, and at Unlock 2024, a major theme was sustainability and the rise of the Digital Product Passport, or DPP. Has this looming legislation, so it's a year later, has this reached the Grundfos business, and what is, if it has, what is the impact on your business?
Yeah, the Digital Passport, that's a new thing coming up. Once again, a good idea from the EU, or maybe not so good, I'm not sure. But when you look at the Digital Passport, you can do it from two different points of view, from a legal point of view or from a sustainability point of view. And at Grundfos, we have chosen the sustainability way of doing it. And I'm actually also part of the task force at Grundfos discussing and handling this area. And my interest in this is that we are looking to have the version of all the sustainability and compliance files, because that's also something we are missing on some of our products today. Mm-hmm. So by doing the digital passport requirements, we are gaining from that also, because then we will get our EPD and REACH and SDS declaration and whatever they're called, all these sustainability files.
Yeah, fantastic. So we're moving to the latter start of the chat. So given the theme of the conference today is Unlearn E-commerce, Embrace for AI, specifically when it comes to your business and your industry, is there a specific opportunity at Grundfos that you're looking to take advantage of AI?
Yeah, we are, of course, also thinking about AI. Everybody's doing that. And I think you can look at AI from two different points of view. We have a general thing and a specific thing. And the general thing at Grundfos, we are mostly using Copilot for that. And internally, we actually have a whole AI website at Grundfos, where we have a lot of different approaches to use AI. So if you want to make a post on LinkedIn, you can go in and search on LinkedIn on the AI side, and then you can grab a pre-generated prompt text, and then easily adjust that to your own, and then just post it. So we are trying to use AI in our daily work, and especially also when we are having meetings, we're using Copilot for summarizing the meetings.
Excellent.
And maybe you sometimes also are getting a long email from your manager, and you don't really want to read it, so then you can also cheat a little bit and make a Copilot.
No, my manager is very focused.
You're not doing that?
Just do this and do that, otherwise this will happen. 3 sentences, so easy for me, but that's great to do. So summarizing, and specifically around Akeneo, are there any specific things which you'll be looking at investigating when it comes to the use of AI in 2025?
In all the systems we're using, we are looking into the AI options also in Products Hub and print. Regarding Akeneo, there's a nice feature where you're able to use AI on attributes, and that's something I would like to use. As we talked about before, the product titles, when we have 350,000 SKUs in our Akeneo system. So when I'm approaching a colleague at Grundfos and telling them that, could you please make 350 translations for me, then they will most likely don't have the time for that.
Yes.
And then we can use the AI feature from Akeneo to auto-generate that. But when you're doing that, you just have to keep in mind that doing that is 80-90% of the work. And you still need to do the last mile and the manual human proofreading at the end.
So, like you said, updating 300,000 products, use AI for that, but still keep the human in the loop just to make sure that there's a certain level of like tone of voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. 2 more questions. So the second to last question, do you have any advice for the people in this room about how they can adapt and implement a solution like Akeneo and deliver the benefits that Grundfos has if they're facing similar challenges as your organization was before implementing Akeneo?
Yeah. Well, working in a big company like Grundfos, I think it's a good approach to show and don't tell. So sometimes it's a good idea to just sneak in a system in one department and then show the others what it can do. And then it's much easier to go to the management and to the other departments after that and showing them that, see, if we can do that, 3 guys in the PXM team, imagine what the whole Grundfos can do with Akeneo.
Fantastic. So depending on the organization, start small, start fast, and then use the results to evangelize to the rest of the business and then get more buy-in over time.
Exactly.
And one last question. If you had ultimate discretion to roll this out to any other department, any next department, which department would you choose and why would you choose that department?
Yeah, I would like it to be the web team, because the web team, they are handling the Grundfos website, and that's the other part of the Grundfos data we have. And today we are not 100% aligning with the web team. So I would like to be able to do that, and so we can even improve the single point of truth even more. And so we have the same data when we're sending out data all over the world, and when you're looking at the Grundfos website.
Fantastic. Well, with that, I'd like to thank you very much. If we can just give a warm round of applause to Henrik. Thank you very much, and looking forward to continuing the journey with you moving forwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cool.